Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Touring Australia. I thought it was about time we do a my rig review or one of our rig reviews. We did one on the 120. I'm not sure which channel it's on. This touring channel, it's pretty much a new thing, and we thought we'd separate and put all the touring information, track scenery and touring information onto a separate channel to the mechanical one. So we're going to run through all the modifications, and you know I'm a less is more and I only like really reliable modifications, if you know what I mean. Nothing that's going to cause trouble and make the vehicle unreliable. You've got to be very careful what you choose, who you let you work on your vehicle, and who you let install these aftermarket modifications, and which ones you choose and the reasons why. We're going to run through all those. So briefly, I'm just going to quickly go through the main modifications on this vehicle, and then one by one we'll go around and take a look what they are in a little bit more detail, but trying to keep it obviously compact also. So obviously, starting from the ground up, tyres, we've upgraded to some BFG KO2s. Obviously we've been using those on the tracks for years. It's got the standard strong alloy rims painted black. We've got a video on that. I think that's on 4x4 diesel. So they're not the original rims, they're off an older 150 Prado, painted, and the tyres went on. We've got Dobinson suspension underneath, which is the monotubes at the front, and the MRA, the monotube remote adjustables at the rear, which are actually now available on the market for the 120 and the 150, but this is not an ad for those. From the ground up, we said, any bash plates under body protection? No, it's standard as far as under body protection. This is a touring setup, but it is a solo vehicle, no towing setup. Also, you can see there, no tow bar at the back there, wherever it is, just there, see, no tow bar. From the ground up, we said, what's next? Possibly the floor mats. We've got those awesome mats from Trevor Ryan, Dirt Road 4x4. Got the compressor, the ARB compressor. You need to be able to let those tyres down and pump them up. We've got a dual battery system, Century Dual Force, using the projector DC-DC charger, and we've provided a bit of feedback on that so far. It does the job, and for most people, they probably wouldn't notice some of the things that it does that's not so good. That's your batteries, obviously power run to the back, a storage system in the back, some drawer fridges. We've got K-on rear tables, K-on cargo barriers, K-on rear antenna mount, and you can see the Oricom antenna on there, and we're using Oricom handhelds at the moment. We've got the roller platform up on the roof up here, and there's a shovel on the side. We've had some different awnings on and off. At the moment there's no awning on the vehicle. We're looking into that one, just doing a bit of homework on what we want to trial next. If we're not happy, things go, right? Better, make room for better things. So let's get, I think that pretty well covers it. I'll just quickly say no bull bar, so each to their own. I drive a lot of Prados, a lot of vehicles, but a lot of Prados, and I've got to tell you, it's nothing different for the last many decades, since whether it's the 80 series, 100 series, the Patrols, you know what I mean? All those vehicles we've had in the family. I think, yeah, started off with the GQ Patrols, 80 series, 100 series, whatever. It doesn't matter, guys, you know. It changes the handling of the vehicle. Some people need them, I understand, but we've just chosen not to run a bull bar. And, yeah, maybe one day we'll regret that, but we'll just see, won't we? And basically for the handling, the point is it just changes the handling and the drive of the whole vehicle. And this thing is an absolute pleasure to drive. So let's quickly say some of the most important mods for if you're just going to get out and hit the tracks, you're a day tripper, or weekends and you're going around Melbourne within an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours and looking for harder tracks, then your most important modification you could do is probably a lift kit, suspension lift. And, you know, that sort of person's going to want to take it to the max if you want to keep it legal, that 50 millimeters. A little bit more is really not going to make too much difference for you, depending which vehicle. Again, a lot of variables. Upgrading your tyres to some good, solid, reliable, all-terrain, grippy tyres is what you're going to do. So tyres, suspension, and for a lot of people, bull bar is the next most important thing. And UHF, you need to communicate. There's some of the top things. That's more of a track thing. Of course, you need compressors to pump up tyres. You need recovery gear. You should always have your first aid, your fire extinguishers, and some spare food and plenty of water. And don't travel alone, travel with other people, and preferably with some experience, and build it up slowly. The easier tracks first. Now, if you're going to be using the vehicle for touring, you're not interested in, I don't want to go and wreck the vehicle type thing, and you might think you don't need a lift, and you probably don't. You can get away with it, but quite often you're traveling and you go places and you've got to go down some tracks or roads where that little bit of extra clearance would have helped. So basically the suspension is not really making the vehicle a lot more capable. It's just a little bit, but what it's doing, it's getting it up off the ground, saving damage. So it's your smart on underbody protection because it gets everything away from the ground, okay? So touring vehicle, I still think a lift, but you could keep it a little bit less. I go for less at the front, as you can see at the front there. We've got another video on 4x4 diesel, either out or coming soon, talking about the review and what we found with the suspension setup on this particular vehicle and why it's like that, higher at the back, lower at the front. It works really well. I was a bit not too sure, but when you load up the back, and it explains why in that video, that's why. It's really important information, guys. Anyway, so touring, of course, people need more space, so roof rack, that's why we've got the roller Titan tray up the top here. Shovel, well, that's your number one recovery tool after tyre pressure. On a track, you can make tracks when you've got a shovel or a chainsaw or something to clear those trees out of the way, those sorts of things. So also very important for everybody touring or tracks. So let's get in a bit closer and go through everything one by one, what's there and why we chose those. I've got some nasty big, is that a March fly? What, they're big, whatever they are anyway. I can't recognise them. So just quickly, the BFG all-terrains, okay? So we've seen these, obviously they are the most popular tyre. They have been for decades. All the cars that come in the workshop, all the cars on the tracks, whether it's touring, day trippers or whatever, whether it's KOs, KO2s, KMs, KM2s, KM3, whatever it is, they traditionally have been the most popular tyre, okay? They're very grippy off-road. Of course, the KMs were very slippery on the road. The mud tyres, the KM2s were better. Same with the KOs. Rubber always gets better, but the design of the tread is really grippy. And for whatever reason, being the most popular, most used tyre, let's say if you went on the tracks in the Outback, let's say 50 to 60% minimum, I think that's under, but are these tyres, and you just don't see problems with them. You have a trip with 10 people. 9 have got BFGs, no problem, and one's got Coopers and they end up with a flat. I'm not picking on Coopers, but they are, a lot of people have good experience with them, I understand. So I understand that, but there's just not as many of them in the group, and they seem to be the other brands, not just picking on Coopers. All other brands seem to be the one getting the puncher. That being said, we're going to have a bit of a laugh later on this one because we've got the still got the puncher from the nail. It was a Ramset, what do you call it, a Pasload nail, what do you call it, straight through. But so that's why we chose those tyres. They may not necessarily be for you. Suspension, it's good value for your money, Australian company, so we can talk about that here. Let's go and have a look under the bonnet, see what we got there. Okay, so our vehicle setup under the bonnet point of view. This electrical wiring is absolutely awesome. I'm going to say it again. I know some people won't like it. I know someone that doesn't like it, he thinks it's untidy, but I'll tell you what, it's reliable. I know where every wire goes, what it does, and it's bloody fantastic. Anyway, that's just for a charger. If you want to add a charger, we don't use that anymore. I could probably get rid of that because we've got the charger mounted in the back of the vehicle. This is obviously runs to the projector DC charger on the K-on bracket. That's that one. This one is the compressor wiring. So the only two things that come over here are bada bing, those two. Over here, quite simple, we've got the Century Dual Force. Batteries, we've said it before, we get off every battery in Heidelberg. Travis is there till about April, so if you need a battery, you can speak to him. He is moving over west, so he's wised up. He's coming over the west if you let him in, and you'll probably have a nice every battery shop over there, and you'll be able to see Trav about some batteries. Century Dual Force, we're pretty happy with that at the moment. We love the Optimas, but we like to try different things, and we were waiting for our storage system and fridges for a while. It's been in there for a few months now. We're happy with how the battery's been, even putting in fridges temporarily, but now we've been giving it a good run with some drawer fridges. So we'll give you a little bit of, not too much. This is a rig setup video. So we've got the Dual Force there. Obviously this comes from the DC charger. This goes power to the back. This goes power in the car. So they're your 3 wires. Again, this is just the charger. We could get rid of that and tidy things up a bit. Pretty simple stuff. So the compressor, again there, the little ARB compressor, CKM812, whatever it is. Very reliable, just about everyone uses them. They're not the fastest, but they're compact. You can put them under the bonnet, you can wet them. I just put the glove over the switch because I don't think it's really designed for it. It's going to last longer if we try and keep it dry. Eventually I'll get a better solution. That was a quick throw that over idea that's been like that a while now. The wiring for the compressor comes straight across under the radiator and over to the battery. We want the compressor run from the main battery because it's getting the best charge, Bada bing, shortest wiring. We're not talking about installs in this video. So that's what we've got under the bonnet here. You already know about the tyres. We've talked about the tyres, the BFGs. We've got the Dobson's mono tube, not remote reservoir, as you can see. Reliability. Up this side of the vehicle, standard side steps at the moment, touring vehicle, so we're not out to bend the steps. It doesn't mean we can't do some tracks, okay? It doesn't mean we can't get out and do some tracks, but we just don't go and do stupid stuff. Now, on the rear, of course, the same tyres, the standard alloy rims, painted black, are the strongest. I'm not going to go on about it too much. We've got videos on wheels and tyres. Now, in here, you can see the mono tube with the remote reservoir mounted there. Okay, we've talked about it more in other videos. I'm just showing you where that's two of your adjustments, your compression, high and low speed, the purple and the little black one on the end, right? So we're not adjusting those, just showing you where they're at. Okay, now let's have a look. Let's go to the top now. Let's go up. Okay, so we've got the roller Titan tray on the roof. I've said before, it's one of the top engineers in Australia that told me this is the strong roof rack. This is the one to go for, right? You can grab it, you can bang it around. It's a lot, you know, this is a lot more solid than when you compare to the Rhino. I was going to go get a Rhino. I spoke to the engineer. He said, mate, we've got the roller Titan. That's this one on one of our cars. And we've got the Rhino on the other vehicle. And he goes, mate, stronger. He goes, I'd go for the roller Titan. So anyway, we listened, that's what we did, and I think we've started a new trend. He's happy with it, and I'm really happy with it as well. I'm a bit OCD fussy. This, because it's a GX, we did have some roof rails we could have installed and connected to with that using the LRS 034, which we've used on the 120 Prado now. We're that happy with it. We upgraded the 120 Prado. But this kit, I can't remember the number, but it's direct to the roof. It's a different way of doing things. It's probably stronger because it's got 6 mounting points direct to the roof. But there wouldn't be much in it because the rails are mounted 6 mounting points direct to the roof, and of course it's mounted to them anyway, but it's 2 points at each side, whatever. It does mount lower, in my opinion, mounting direct to the roof rails, which may be a surprise for you. It was a bit of a surprise for me. Around the back here, we've got the K-on rear antenna mount, so you can use that. Originally was, you know, for the antenna. Bull bars shake antennas to pieces, guys. They absolutely do. We're not going to go on about it too much, but here it's on the body of the vehicle. It doesn't go anywhere. We can extend and take the short one off and put the long one on, and with the handheld connected to this or that, it's just like a permanent radio, and we may upgrade to that eventually. Of course, you've got your bottle opener there. Quickly, we'll talk about the spare. This is on Billy Goats in the high country. We had, you know, we're talking about BFGs and how reliable they are, but what actually happened was we had a nail go through, and there's a video on that. I think that's on, I don't know what channel it's on. That's probably on 4x4 Touring Australia, I'd hope anyway. But the nail went straight in there, into the tyre, and then back out again, and you can see where it hit the rim. At the time, I didn't quite figure out what had gone on. No, we haven't replaced it yet because I haven't got around to it, but this is holding a bit of air. It's got a slow leak, but we're going to put some more plugs in it, and we're going to do a bit of R&D and see how well that works and holds air and that sort of thing. But I suppose we better have a look in the back here, right? So you've probably seen on some other videos the storage system in the back and some other things, so we're not going to go on about that too much. You can see the light cargo shelf, K-on again. We've got the power set up there. Just in this little box here is where we decided to mount our fuses and stuff like that, so it all splits off there. Obviously in this video I can't go into too much detail showing you the full installation of that. We've got our charger mounted on the side here. That's our battery charger that's wired into the fuse, you know, into the system. And of course, when we park the vehicle in the 120, you can open the window. We just put it out the window. These you can't, but we've worked out you can put a lead straight out the door here, and we just plug it on charge. That way the batteries are getting looked after if the fridges are running, like if you're at a caravan park or whatever. This storage system, awesome. Obviously we designed and had one made for the 120. Very happy with that. Made some adjustments to make it even better, and of course a bit of a redesign on this one to make this even better, making it easy one-hand opening, right? So you can get in there and open your drawer. There you go. There's the sort of things you might bring. A reciprocating saw or a bow saw or a chainsaw, whatever. Bit of food supplies. Should I open the drawer and see what else we got in there? Looking at some first aid type things and There's some tissues, some rid, and some spare lights and towels. You never know what you need. I'm sure there's other stuff in there. And there's that longer antenna that we talked about. We can just pop that on if we need to get a bit more distance for whatever reason. But I've got to be quite honest, I don't want to hear everybody else. I'm happy to hear our convoy. And the handheld works really well. So there's the charger. That's that little projector charger. I'll show you what one it is. Right. Okay, in case you want to get yourself one of those. They're about 60 bucks. We've got one mounted in each vehicle now. So if we go to a caravan park, we plug it in, and in the 120 it runs the fridge on 240 volt and charges the battery. In this it just charges the battery, right? And it's slow, but it's fast enough. So the drawer fridges, yeah, we're happy with those. There's the 30 litre. It's not on at the moment. I haven't opened the door all the way. Let's open the door. Let's get this K-on table down and show you that as well. We might as well just show you how that all works. We just have some cutting boards there and some cloths, always handy. Now a new storage thing we come up with in here. Could be a separate video for that, but now we're finding out this is R&D. Crappy containers don't really work very well. There's some $2 Kmart specials. They were the right size. Made in China, maybe that's why. Anyway, the idea was, right, you can put your... I'll fix it up now actually while we're here. Sorry about the delay. I probably shouldn't have put those in there because that made it all not fit, but we've got our fresh set of cutlery in there. I don't think that set's even been used yet because it was all part of the R&D, and we've just learnt that I think we need a lacquer band around that. So that goes in there, right? I don't know, normally that fits pretty good. And these are the temporaries, whatever, anyway. So that's why the hole's there like that. Then you can just get a small bit of rubbish, you just throw it through the hole. Anyway, we'll sort that out later. It wasn't about that. So that's something you can fit in there. You got your tools in there. The 20 litre drawer fridge here, that opens up for full access. That's 20 litres, right? We can get to all that nice and easy with the table in the right there. You can see that's on. What's it on? Say about 4 degrees, right? So that's on. That's working. This one's not switched on at the moment, and of course that comes out where it touches the string, and we've still got full access. So it makes 50 litres of space, and it's really easy to access compared to contraptions that are weight up high. We've got the weight as low as possible. We're going to use the lowest fridge first, and of course if you only need half the space, you only turn one on, saves power. And of course yeah, no contraptions of fridge slides or drop slides and putting things up high, which changes your body roll handling, having weight up high. Of course we've got the K-on cargo barrier there, stops everything from here going through, and obviously stuff here as well, safety side of thing, even in what we call our pantry area here. You know, but it's not all about the storage system, so I think it's time to move on. You can see what we've got here, right? Back around the other side, so we'll just pop that up. You kind of need 2 hands for that. Well, you don't need 2 hands, you need one because it's done, right? And of course with this storage system, you've still got a bit of space down the side to access if you want to use that inverter, which we never use, and store a lot of other stuff down each side. This is where our bags go. Anyway, moving on from there. I don't know, does that just about, I think we just about covered everything. Let's go for a bit of a look around this way. We covered, you can put a rear light on there if you like, you know, or an antenna. We talked about the shovel. I think everybody should have a shovel. I'm not sure, these are the roller shovel mounts that you can add on, you know, the roller accessories. They do the job, but I just prefer a bit quicker. And is that, you know, do we trust it? Yeah, it's pretty solid. I don't have a problem with them. I'm used to my old ones on the 120, but again, I changed the ones on the 120 when we change over to the Roller Titan tray, and we're using the Quick Fist rubber quick release clamps. But I'm using, sorry, I had to brush that big fly off, he's trying to get me. I use 3 of them because I'm a bit of a security freak, as in, you know, an awning I like 3 mounts, a shovel I like 3 mounts, even though this has only got 2, so right, you know, not always, but I do prefer, these are solid, they're not going anywhere. The issue here is if you don't do it up tight enough or it slips, it could twist and come around and hit your paintwork sort of thing. When you've got 3, there's less chance if you forget one, 2's still going to do the job, or if one breaks, 2's still going to do the job and hold it up there till you can go, oh, look at this and do something about it. So let's take a quick look in the vehicle of the typical things we might carry with us, you know, the sunscreen, the sanitizer, that's our air up and deflator, obviously, handy there. Recovery kit, always at arm's reach when possible, it's just there, depending what sort of trip it is. And of course the blower, because the first thing that happens is, I'm not here to sell you a blower, but you know, you get out the back door and the 150 is covered in dust, so you blow it off before you open it. Otherwise, your car's full of dust in no time. Hope you're enjoying seeing me in some of the reflections. There's that Roller Titan tray. I think we're just about done. Let's go and have a look inside this vehicle. Oh, here we go, the Max Pro floor mats. Let's not forget going into detail of those. Really impressed. I've done other videos, so I'm not going to go on about it too much, but you can just get your brush and sweep this stuff. Goes, not a big edge here, guys, so when you get in, you're not dragging your feet, kicking the edge. On a lot of mats, they've got these big edges. That's the best they could think of. These guys thought of this awesome system where nothing's coming over that edge, and if it does, it's because you brushed it and it's straight over the plastic and out. So you can actually brush it out and wipe it out with my favourite yellow cloths. Anyway, Trevor Ryan, Dirt Road 4x4 if you want a set of those mats. Fire extinguishers, you get them on special from Aldi. The bracket, the K-On bracket, of course, you can get one for the 120 or one for the 150 from K-On. K-On do a heap of awesome stuff, right? Phone chargers, we've added in a USB with 2 USBs and a little voltmeter there. We've added another little USB just there, right? You can talk to Nick Carney from Positive Auto Power if you want to get things like that. He does that stuff. We've got a little tab A, I think it is, and not that I need maps, but maps.me is, when I got it, a free app, and I've recommended it to a lot of people who've told me, yeah, that's good. So you need to download the maps at home, and you can zoom in and get a lot of detail. It is really good for a free map app. There's probably better ones I don't know about, so please put it in the comments for other people. Any information you got that's helpful, let's all help each other out. I'm helping you. It's a community thing. We can all help each other. So there's that Oricom handheld there. It just sits there. When I want to use it with the antenna, you'll find if I just look just here somewhere, I haven't used it for a while, here's my wire just sitting there, right? And it's got this little, you can just unscrew the antenna off the top, right? It takes like 10 seconds and just screw that on, right? Bang, and then that sits right there on the handbrake. That there, right? Just sits right there, like that. Doesn't move, and when I talk, I just press that button like that, right? And the antenna's hooked on like that, and I'm booming. The battery lasts days, and that's probably why I've been lazy to upgrade to a permanent unit. It was more R&D. I tested these out, then I tested them with a magnetic mount, then we upgraded the antenna. Sometimes I use the antenna, but quite often I don't. I don't need to hear everyone 10 kilometres away. I just want to hear my convoy. So I've got a few cars, handhelds the go, and then when I get out of the car to help people out on the tracks, I don't have to turn one off and one on, and it's right there. The handheld's with me all the time. So I like the Oricom, and they're waterproof, dustproof. I'm not going to muck around and do those videos where you go throw them in the river and all that and prove it. I mean, you know, that's what they say. They've got a warranty. If you've got a problem, the customer service with Oricom is bloody awesome. Okay, so what do we got in there? That's it. We covered everything in there. So that's the vehicle setup, guys. That's a touring setup, okay? Less is more, if you know what I mean. So compressor, battery. So basically what we're looking at here is you want a setup for touring. What do you need? Okay, why are we changing that? We're changing the tyres because on the touring, on the tracks, on the stones and stuff like that, there's a chance that the tyre's going to get damaged. Why are we raising the suspension? We're raising it up to give ourselves a little bit more clearance. You might think you're just going down the Gibb River Road for a nice touring trip, but when you get into places like Alquestro or whatever, you might find some backtracks there that you want to go and have a look at some stuff. And you need to go down some tracks and just give yourself a bit more clearance to save the damage to the vehicle. On this one, we haven't added bash plates. It's just that slight lift at the front and 50mm at the back. So again, it may look a little bit of a stance like that now, but when you're on a hill and the weight's on the back, it's beautiful. When you load it up, as you can see, the car's empty at the moment. Nothing on the roof, nothing in the back. It's just about got no fuel in it. I've come out here with a range of 200 or 300 Ks. Why do you reckon I did that? I've got more clearance when I find a fun track, keeping those tanks off the ground. That's why we do it. Okay, you know why we need a compressor? Because we need to pump up the tyres. We need to pump them up because we need to let them down. Or if you get a punch, you need to repair it and pump it up, even if you're not letting it down. So things you need, like the shovel you need. Okay, the battery you need, because you need to run other fridges, because the number one tool in a touring trip is a fridge, because you want food, you want cold drinks, right? So, and when you come to the back of the vehicle to eat or drink, you need places to put things. That's why I got this. You put your stuff there, you put your stuff there, you put your stuff on the table, wherever you want to put it, okay? You need power here to run those fridges. You need power to charge your other lights, bits and pieces, phones and other devices. You need storage if you're not lugging around some big caravan, because you want to be able to park places and go places, and you can do that. That's cool. Each to their own again. But for us, we're touring with a vehicle. Every last millimetre of space, we want to use it up there, here at the sides. This thing, it gets full. Okay, anyway guys, I hope that's helped you understand a few of the mods, and we're really happy with that. We've got a few more mods on the 120. As I said, we've already done I think it's called, maybe it's called My Rig Setup or something like that. It's probably on the 4x4 Diesel channel, but this one obviously, 4x4 Touring Australia, and that's where these sorts of videos will be from now on. Hopefully you like that. Nobody's coming down here, mate. Dead quiet, right? Anyway, we're just going to go and have a quiet time now. Thanks for watching. Sorry I talk too fast, but I'm trying to fit the information in because some people are in a hurry. So just watch a few minutes, pause it and have a drink and take a breath and then watch a bit more. And if you liked it, please remember to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, turn the bell on. Both of our YouTube channels if you're into the touring side, the vehicle side, and also the mechanical side. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya. G'day, mate. How you going? What's going on there, mate? We're going to make a video. Is that all right? Just getting permission from the traditional landowner. Excuse me there, Black Wallaby, sir.